Are electric vehicles actually good for the planet? Well, the short and simple answer would be no. I mean, the best car would be no car at all. But I live in Maine, and in order to hold a job down with practically no public transportation, you really need to have a car here. So a better question would be, are electric vehicles better than combustion engine vehicles for the environment? Let's take a look. Electric mobility is a shift to a circular economy rather than a linear one. With combustion engines, you have to extract oil from the planet, burn it, releasing dangerous greenhouse gases and particle 2.5 emissions, which aren't good for our health, and after that, you can't reuse the materials. Whereas the shift to an electric vehicle allows you to reuse those materials and create a closed-loop system that'll be more sustainable for the future. Now, it does take more power and resources to manufacture an electric vehicle. However, that deficit is quickly overcome once the vehicle hits the road thanks to its zero tailpipe emissions and lower overall life cycle emissions across the lifetime of the vehicle. The Hummer EV is built on GM's Ultium platform, which uses 70% less cobalt for the cathode than traditional battery systems. GM is also committed to ethical and humane sourcing of materials, and they're building 3 new factories in the United States to manufacture millions of EV batteries every year. Now, even on an entirely coal-fired grid, an electric vehicle is still less carbon intensive than a combustion vehicle. The reason for this is because an EV is around 90% efficient, whereas a combustion vehicle is only around 20% efficient. So even if the fuel source is extremely dirty, it's still going to be far more efficient at utilizing that fuel. As we get more solar, more wind, more renewable energies on our grids, the electric vehicle you drive will continue to get cleaner and cleaner to operate. Now, the really neat thing about EVs is that they can be used as grid storage and home backup, which is extremely important for bolstering our national grid. This will allow us to store renewable energies from the grid, such as solar and wind, for later use, which means that we don't have to run expensive peaker plants, which are extremely dirty and cost a lot of money to keep online. The other thing about this that's really cool is that you have battery backup for emergencies. With decentralized battery backups, we would have more supply and more energy to be able to have on demand when you have really high air conditioning or really high heating demands. That's another great use for electric vehicle batteries. And even after that, the materials in the batteries can be recycled so that they can be used again. This is part of that closed loop system that we're trying to get to. Electric vehicles are a huge step in the right direction towards decarbonization, social equity, and creating those closed-loop systems that we need to have a more sustainable future. If you're interested in learning more about the Hummer EV, stay tuned and we're going to do a full walkthrough to take a look at some of the awesome features that this SUV has.